Hey, welcome into the round pen, 7 weeks with Ringo the Mustang. And we haven't posted a video. I guess it's been about 3 weeks. I was just getting ready to post a video, and he made a lot of progress since the last video. And then the snowstorm and the ice storm hit, like most people here in the middle of the United States. It got really, really cold. And I'll just kind of give you a little confession. When it gets that cold, I just come outside, throw hay to the horses, and run back in the house crying like a little girl. That's what I do when it's that cold. So there you go. So the result of that being that Ringo here has not had a rope on him in 3 weeks. Well, let me rephrase. It's been at least 2 weeks. In that 2-week time, I've probably done this 3 or 4 times. It was really cold. I just came out and rubbed on him a little bit, and that was it. Okay, but I was to the point, and I haven't touched him today. This is raw video. I just kind of think it's better for you guys, for me not to warm them up or make it look better. I want you to just see it the way it is. And so that's pretty good right there. He's a little goosier on the other side. Let me see how he'll do with this rope. I was able, over 2 weeks ago, to come out here and just halter him like this by just gently putting this rope over his neck. He's probably going to be okay with that. Gently put the rope over his neck, just easy. And if I'd been able to work him, we'd be a lot better, but that's okay. There we go. And this, you'll recall, the right side is his better side. Okay. Let him see the halter, which he hasn't seen in a couple of weeks. There you go, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. There we go. Okay. And we have a little added excitement. I turned the ponies out into the arena, and they're over there running around chasing each other, so that just adds to his excitement level just a little bit. See if he'll let me tie this without getting too upset. Okay. All right, pretty good. That's pretty good for not having done it for 2 weeks, so I'm pretty happy with that. There. So if you can't rub your horse all the way down his legs, why would you think you could pick up his foot? That's just not going to work, right? He's got to be okay with you rubbing on him. There, good boy. So the reason I backed off there is because I wanted to reward him finally standing still. So that's the reason I just backed off and let him think about it a second, and then I'll come back in. There. So I just had to slow this down a little bit. Good. Good. So when he stands still, then I'll reward that in a minute. Okay. Good boy. Okay, now let's see if I can just pick this up. Maybe not. And I know I've said this several times, but if you get in a hurry with this stuff, it's probably not going to go well. You know, he's got to deal with it on his own timetable. 2 weeks ago he was doing a lot better, but you know, it's not surprising we went backwards a little bit with time off. Good boy. There we go. There, good. Okay, and again, he's really good at getting it where you can't see what I'm doing. So I think I can pick that up just a little bit. Yeah, just a little. I picked it up and then set it back down pretty quick. And you know, this is like anything else you teach a horse. If you'll do it a little slower, they'll learn it better. You won't have to come back and fight them when the farrier comes and all that kind of stuff. If you'll let them learn it slow and learn it right, then they'll know it for the rest of their life. There, good boy. Now, if at some point I think he's just playing with me and not actually afraid, then I'll do something to put him to work and make him, you know, want to stand still. I'm starting to wonder if maybe he's just playing me here. This horse is smart. He's one of the smartest horses I've trained in a while, and he figures things out really fast. So that may be what's going on here. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's just go ahead and make this my idea. So I told you I needed to teach him to yield his hindquarters. So I'm just going to start doing that. Let's just yield those hindquarters. Let's do it because it's my idea to move them. Okay? Okay, let's move them because I told you to move them. So this is a little bit of reverse psychology. Okay. And after you do this for 4 or 5 minutes, all of a sudden, moving those hindquarters isn't as much fun as he thought it was. Okay, and you got to do this with a short lead rope because you can sure get kicked if you don't know what you're doing here. Okay. There. Okay. Now, let me think about that a minute. Now let's see if he wants to stand still. Aha! How about that? He's licking his lips too. So yeah, he was kind of playing me just a little bit there. He was just kind of, it was more of an avoidance thing. He may still move again. Let's see. Nope. Good boy. Okay, well, let's go back to it then. Let's go back to moving that hip because it's my idea. Because I'm telling you, move that hip. Come on, move it. Move it. Because I say move it. There you go. Move it. Heaney's learned this anyway, so it's kind of teaching two things at once. There. All right. There. There. There, and of course, there he goes, moving so you can't see what I'm doing here. All right. You want to move? Let's move. And folks, this is horse training. I might edit a little of this for the video, but you know, you might have to do this 45 minutes someday just to get to the lessons learned. Okay. Okay, let's switch sides. Let's work on his bad side here. And you'll notice I've got my left hand up. I'm blocking him. I don't want him running over me. All I wanted to do is yield those hindquarters. Step over. Step over. Okay. Step over. Keep your nose tipped toward me and step over. Good. Good. The cue is me bending over and looking at his hip. Because that's how that mare would do it in the herd. She'd look at it, tell him to move it, and if he didn't, she'd come in there and bite him. Okay. Ooh. Let him lick his lips a minute. Okay, that's better, even if I don't get the foot picked up. That's much better with him just standing there and not evading me. There. He thought about moving and then he stopped. I don't know if you saw that thought process. His instinct told him to move and then he thought, no, I didn't like all that work we were just doing. So this horse he's smart, he learns fast. Good. So let's gently hold it up there. Set it down. Pick it up. Hold it. Set it back down. Okay, that's pretty good for that. And before I put him away, I'll do the other hind leg as well. I'm not going to do that right now. Last thing I want to show you is how to teach a horse to be tied up. And I've done this with him one time. And again, it was more than 2 weeks ago, but he handled it pretty well. And so this is, I'm sure this isn't the only way to do it, but this is the way I do it and it works well. What I do is I take a 30-foot rope, which is what this is, and I use a tie ring, and I have one tied over here to the side of the pen. And I'll ask my camera girl to zoom in on it a little bit. You don't have to use these. There are, you know, if you have a solid pipe fence, you can just wrap the rope around it and do something similar. But the idea of the tie ring is that you can tie the rope through it and it has some give. So you just put it through there, and if that horse pulls, or when he pulls, that rope will pull through there, but it doesn't release completely. It has some friction to it. And so once I started using these things, which was, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, I have not had another horse develop a suck back problem as a habit, because this just kind of keeps it from becoming a habit. Because when they do pull back, they don't get a release, but they also don't get a claustrophobic where they're caught and they can't get away. And so it's just, to me, a really, really nice little tool. And you can get them on the internet for 30 or 40 bucks. Okay, so this is how I do that. So I'm out of the way for whatever happens. And the last time I did this, I worked him a little bit and then I just left him tied up for about an hour, which is probably what I'll do here today as well. So come over here and put a little pressure on him with this rope and ask him to move his hindquarters over there, which he did. See, I only did this once. This horse is smart, smart, smart. Okay. Flip it over his hip. Now I'll ask him to move him that way. You see, he kind of panicked a little bit. He moved the wrong way. So this is, there we go. Good. Right there. So I'm teaching him a lot of things all at one time, but one thing he's learning is to stand tied. And because when you tie a horse up, something's going to bother them, and their natural reaction is to pull away. And this way, he's pulled about probably 10 or 12 inches on that rope, lengthened it a little bit, and whenever I want to, now I didn't ask him to move there. We just walk in here, and a lot of times this will cause him to suck back when you walk in. Good. Good. I don't want him to be afraid. I want him to think. There. Good boy. All right, so let me just move this back up to where it was. Good. Ideally, this thing should probably be another foot taller, but I didn't have the room to do that. I mean, he might get a leg over this, but because it's not hard tied, even if he did get a leg over it, he wouldn't get hurt. But, okay. And that was just him moving out of a reaction, not because I asked him to. Good. Get him to move on over a little farther. Wrong answer. Wasn't what I wanted. There. Okay, good. 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 All right, I'll do it one more time. I figured he would do that. Okay, there. Okay. So, it's a real safe way to teach your horse to be tied. And I'll just leave him there for an hour or so and let him think about the meaning of life and come back in maybe a week or so. Probably the next video that I do with you guys, I will be ready to teach him to load in a trailer. I should be doing pretty well with being able to clean his feet, maybe even trim them by then. And that'll probably be the last video I make with him, is teaching him to load in a trailer. And he's almost ready to adopt out. So if somebody wants to adopt this horse, shoot me a comment. We'll make it happen.